Hey everybody, sorry. I thought I could get that drink in before I actually went live. Sorry I'm having to come on early today, but some things happened and oh my goodness, my little thingies for my the little hanger thingies are sticking out. Um I had a property that I had applied for and everything and paid the application fee. They didn't even process my application. Text me this morning and said it's non-refundable, $100 application fee, and they're not going to process it because the property's already rented. I'm like, no, you're giving me my money back. So I have a lot of work to do this afternoon. So I'm coming on early because of that. So, but I missed last week. I was really sick. I don't know what was going on. It was the first week of school, and my husband had been gone for a little while, and it just kind of, I think between that and school and everything that's going on now, last week was kind of, precursor to all that. So yeah, I'm here today. I'm happy. I'm feeling much better than I have been the past week and a half. So we're just going to go from there. And I'm not going to stop what I'm doing in my business because I know that all of you guys are, first of all, the reason that I'm here, because without you guys here, I would have nothing to do and nobody to talk to. But, when life sometimes happens, personally, it affects business a little bit. And I don't like that. And I don't like having to cancel or delay or anything like that. But, I'm back. I'm not going to miss any more weeks. I won't be throwing up anymore. So stress is gone. And I have my awesome strong is the new pretty because I'm strong and I'm gorgeous, right? Okay. So today we are talking about house training and destructive chewing. So house training and destructive chewing are a majority of the reason why dogs actually get sent to the shelter or get given up by their owners. So, I mean, some of them, have aggression issues or, stuff like that, but that's by and large, that's a very small percentage. So house training and destructive chewing are two way up there reasons when you actually ask people, when you do a survey, why did you give your dog up? Those are the top two reasons by far. I mean, it's not even a close third in there anywhere. So what we're going to be talking about today is that, and how can we have what's called errorless house training, errorless. So no errors in your house training. First of all, ideally, you want to start this process of house training from the time that they're a puppy. I mean, from the time they're able to eliminate on their own without their mother, because when they're first born, without their mom grooming them and taking care of them, they can't even actually like empty their bladder and empty their bowels without their mom's care. So they literally can't do anything. And once they, start being able to do that, they're more mobile, they're starting to wean and stuff like that. There's certain things that are just inherent in a dog, probably across the board. I mean, I would say this is true with humans as well. They want their waste, their feces, and their urine as far away from them as possible. Okay, so you think about your big backyard. My dogs are an exception, but only in certain cases. But you think about your big backyard, okay? Where do they automatically run to go to the bathroom? Peeing, yeah, whatever. They kind of mark their spots and stuff and pee on trees and, sticks in the ground or the fence or whatever, as long as it's not electric. Then, they'll kind of empty their bladders anywhere they please. And they do it, a little here, throughout the yard because they're marking their territory. But as far as feces is concerned, they want to keep it as far away from the area they play in, the area they sleep in, as possible. So when you have this brand new puppy, you just brought him home, he's 6 or 8 weeks old, or she, and you're thinking, man, how can I keep this little puppy from pooping all night. Well, you can't. I mean, it's just like you have to think about a little baby. They once the dog is able to eliminate on their own, they have a teeny tiny bladder. They have, not very big bowels. They can't. Hi, Carolyn, how are you doing? I'm so glad you're here. Oh man, I am pumped and ready to go for the day. So if you think about it, a baby can't hold their urine. Whoa, I'm knocking stuff over. A baby can't hold their urine in their feces for very long, right? So we can't expect a puppy to be the same, right? So what we're going to talk about is what's called a long-term confinement area, okay? And we'll also talk about a short-term confinement area, because both are important in your errorless house training, because really the thing that we want to do is to prevent mistakes from happening, because mistakes lead to discouragement on the owner's part. And that discouragement, when your dog soils your carpet, comes out as a negative reinforcement to your dog. And so then they get mixed signals, because their body physically can't hold any more urine, so they have to go, but you're asleep in your bed or you're at work, so where else are they going to go? So we make it easy for them. If we make it easy for them, then they will never pee or poop in our house in an inappropriate place, okay? So as far as long-term confinement areas, there's several things, and this actually crosses over into destructive chewing as well, because in that long-term confinement area, we're actually going to take care of all of the dog's needs for the entire day. Okay. So while you're at work, you leave at 7 o'clock in the morning, you don't get home until 5 o'clock at night. Everything that puppy needs should be in that long-term confinement area. It can be as simple as a spare bedroom, or blocking off your kitchen, or keeping them in your bathroom, or keeping them in your laundry room, somewhere where the floor is easy to clean up. And I wouldn't recommend hardwood, because, even the puppy pads, if you use the puppy pads or the piddle pads, they have that plastic on the bottom. But if they get too filled up, then that urine's going to sit on the wood, and it can warp the wood. I mean, puppy urine is very acidic. So you don't want it sitting on wood or carpet or something like that. You want to give them the best chance of success in house training, as well as keeping it easiest for you as well, because the desire to give up comes way too easy when your dog is constantly messing up your house. Okay. It does. I'm not the type of person that will get rid of my dog for peeing or pooping in my house, especially when it's my fault. I went to bed and they're locked in my room all night, and I slept for 9 hours, and I didn't let them out at 4 months old. How in the world can I expect my puppy to not need to go in the middle of the night? They're really good about waking us up. So we've never had a problem with that throughout the night, except when I was gone and they were kind of rebelling. I was gone for 10 days one time, and they were rebelling, and they were really destructive during that time. So this would have been a perfect situation for them when that happened and I was gone. This would have been perfect for us to set up, but it was kind of an emergency thing with my grandpa. And so we didn't even think about it. It just kind of happened the way it happened. But I'm not going to give up my dogs for that. But I don't want you to give up your dogs either. So I'm going to show you how to make it where they don't have to make a mess at all. And if they currently are making messes in your house, it stops today. Okay. And so this is what I would actually recommend. First of all, get whatever substrate you have in your yard that they go on, or that you're going to expect them to go on, be it grass, dirt, concrete, whatever it is. Get that same substrate for inside your house for their long-term confinement area. You can get a roll of sod for fairly inexpensively. And if you add up the cost of having to shampoo your carpets every other day, or buying a shampooer, or even vacuuming the extra amount of times that you're going to have to vacuum because your dog is destroying your house, things like that. Replacing items that get broken or soiled and stuff like that. When you add up the costs and you actually compare the two, doing this method, the long-term and short-term confinement areas, is a no-brainer as far as cost is concerned. You're going to save a ton of money regardless of your initial investment, okay? So get the same substrate. If you have to just grab a bag of concrete and just mix it up yourself and put it in a, build a little frame and, whatever, and put it in there, fine, that's fine. If you want AstroTurf, that's fine. It's a little more expensive than sod. The last time I checked, it was anyway. That was years ago, but so you want to get that same substrate, whatever, if you live in an apartment and the only place that they can go is on the concrete outside, there's a big pad. This is the puppy pad where everybody goes poop and pee. Get concrete. I mean, it's really important that it's the same. Okay. And it's consistent. So get that. Then you're going to need some way to confine them to an area. So like I said, this could be as simple as locking them in the bathroom or locking them in your laundry room. We have a huge laundry room though. So most people don't have as big a laundry room as we have. Our laundry room is bigger than our master bedroom for sure. So we have a huge laundry room. So that would work for us. And it has a concrete floor. So that's even better. But a bathroom would work well, blocking off kitchen exits so you can get baby gates to block them off. Now, Sissy and Fennel can both jump over baby gates. So what do we do about that? Actually, we had Sissy blocked off and kept her down in the sub-basement, and she figured out how to get the baby gate open. It wasn't even, she didn't bowl over it. She didn't jump over it or anything like that. She actually opened it. So when we would come home, it was open. And we're like, what in the world? There's nobody home for 6 hours and this dog figured out how to open a baby gate. So just keep that in mind too. They're very intelligent and they will figure out how to get to something that they want. So you really need to think about the best way so that you aren't spending, $25 on a baby gate that's going to be ineffective. And then you have to spend even more over here on a taller baby gate that you can install, instead of one that just goes across with a little bar. You really have to think about the long-term cost of it as well. And if it's really actually going to be cheaper than them soiling in your house. The other option, of course, is always to just leave them outside, right? But what does that help them learn? It doesn't help them learn anything, because then they're going wherever they want, because they have this big, huge backyard. They have access to all of these trees and bushes and everything else. They're going to go on the concrete. Sissy and Fennel, during thunderstorms, which it's thunderstorming here today, they poop on our porch and pee on our porch. Like, I've stood there and watched them do this. They won't, when it's thundering, when it's raining, they love going outside when it's raining, but when it's thunder, they won't go outside. So I kind of have to force them out there. I go out with an umbrella and I'm holding it over all of us, and they pee and poop on the porch. And it's like, what are you doing? Well, it's because they don't want to go outside when it's thundering. It's not because they want to, crap on the porch. They would much prefer to go on the grass, just like I would prefer to go on in certain places. I want to go on my toilet, not on the Walmart toilet. And so they do have these preferences, but you can mold that into a preference for them that you want. So by using the same substrate that you want them to go on outside in your long-term confinement area. So you're going to have a bed and you're going to have a potty. So you want a bed on one end or one corner. So like if it's a square kitchen, you want the bed on one side, one corner, and then on the opposite corner, you want their toilet. Now, the way our house is set up is the kitchen is right beside the dining room and there's a little doorway, and then the back door is right there. So what I would do is I would put the substrate, their potty, right there as close to the back door as possible, and put the bed on the opposite end of that, okay? And that actually is going to help you transition them into being free in your house all the time, 24/7, okay? Because then you're going to be able to move that piddle pad or turf or whatever closer and closer to the door. And then once you take that away, they will only go in that spot because that's where they've been trained to go. And it makes it so easy when you do this from day one, from the time they're able to walk, get a potty as far away from their bed and as close to the door you're going to take them out of as possible. So the third thing that you're going to want, so there's three things. The third thing you're going to want in the long-term confinement area is food. They need food, right? What do puppies do? Puppies chew a lot, right? I actually tried to find one of their Kongs, but I can't find their Kong. So you can just get whatever size is appropriate for your dog. I'm talking mostly about APBTs, and they will chew everything. If you were on my live when they were kind of being a little bit naughty and trying to get me to let them outside, and I wasn't going to let them outside because they were just going to come right back in because, they are just like that, and I'm not going to do that on a live. They chewed part of my dresser, they had this chewing thing, and Sissy's 3 years old, and Fennel's almost 2. So it's like, they just have to chew. They need to chew. And it's good for them to chew because it actually, the mouthier they are as puppies, the safer their jaws are going to be as an adult. So don't ever stop them from chewing. When it hurts, let them know. If they're chewing on you, of course, let them know if it hurts, but that's for another training. So get Kongs. They need to eat throughout the day, right? They need water, they need food, they need a bed, and they need a toilet. So we're going to set up a bed area on one end. We're going to set up a toilet area on the opposite end. And then in the middle, we're going to have chew toys. We're going to have Kongs that you can actually, what I do is I fill it with just a little bit of peanut butter. It's just I kind of like wipe it around the inside of the Kong. And then I shove their food in there, some kibble, and just like pack it in there and kind of get it all good and stirred up and everything. And then you give it to them, and it takes them a little while to actually eat that, especially if you freeze it. If you make the food into mush, if you put water in it or you give them wet food, stuff it in the Kong the night before, put it in the freezer. It's going to take them a little while to eat it throughout the day. And so that will keep their chewing or their destructive chewing under control. So when you have them in your kitchen, they're not chewing on your cabinets. Now take out your trash can. Please don't leave your trash can in a long-term confinement area with any dog. Because they're going to knock it over. They're going to eat the trash. And Sissy, I don't even know where she got it. She got one of my makeup wipes. It was probably in the trash can in the bathroom. And it has a lid because they get into the trash. So it has a lid. And she somehow, between her and Fennel, I don't know who it was, they drug out some of the trash in our bathroom trash can. And this morning, she actually threw up one of my makeup wipes that was in that trash can. Now, why does she want to eat my makeup wipe? It's probably because it's really stressful around here right now. So there's a lot of transition going on. She's unsure. She's been really, really attached to me this past week because of, the stuff that's going on between me and my husband. So it's just a behavior thing. It's just a psychological thing that she's going to get over. But we have to make sure that it's safe for her to be in wherever she's at, and I mean, I was only gone for like a total of maybe 45 minutes yesterday without her, because I even took her with me to drop off the kids and pick them up from school, and Fennel too. But, so I wasn't gone very long yesterday, with them here. So she really didn't have that much of an opportunity to really do what she did, but she did it anyway because of the emotions being heightened and all that kind of stuff. So, and I didn't have a Kong for it. I can't find them. I think I already packed them, unfortunately. That was kind of stupid, but whatever. Sometimes our brains don't function rationally when we're heightened emotions and things like that. So, Okay, so house training. So we want the food area, bed area, toilet area. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Now, does it have to be huge? No. It shouldn't be very, very big. It needs to be big enough that they can walk around freely and they never have to lay in their feces or urine. Okay. So a kennel would not be an appropriate long-term confinement area for a puppy. I don't even like using it for adult dogs. It's just, to me, it's too small. When you have a little bitty puppy and you get this big old huge crate and you're crate training them, it actually doesn't work. So it's like, there's pros and cons to using the crate. And hey, I'll use a crate, and I have in the past, and I will, I'm sure, in the future. And there's nothing wrong with that. But when you're talking about leaving them for a longer amount of time than their bladder can hold their urine, it needs to be big enough to have designated areas in order to successfully house train your dog. Now, when you do that, here's the advantages to a long-term confinement area as I just described it. Hang on. Got to drink my strong as my new pretty. The advantages are huge because then you don't even have to potty train your dog. You don't have to make sure that they go outside every hour. You don't have to make sure that they can hold their urine or hold their feces or anything like that. You'd set up this big environment where nothing they do is wrong. If they can't fail in their house training, then that is going to create an environment where they're only successful. And imagine how great that feels to the dog, to yourself, to your family who may have to shampoo your carpets for you because you work on Saturdays. Imagine a life where you never have a single mess that you have to clean up. Now, when you have an adult dog, if they are going right now on grass, but you need them to learn to go on dirt, just transition it to dirt. Put it in the long-term confinement area. Put them in there every day, and boom, they potty train themselves with this method. And it's a hallway. Yes, actually, Carolyn, that would be great. A hallway is really awesome idea because you can have the bed at one end and the toilet at the other end. So if you think about a hallway where, there's bedrooms, and like ours has 2 doors on one side and 2 doors on the other side. So at the end, there's a little area that nobody ever walks around that area because, that door goes to the right, and then the door that goes to the left is a little bit closer to the stairs, basically. And so you can put the toilet right there. And then when you leave, just pull their bed out, pull their Kongs out, and just block off the access to the rest of the house. That's actually a brilliant idea. You can also do it in a big space like I have down here. I wanted to get it set up for you guys, but I just couldn't. You can buy fencing that you can put inside your house. You can buy tall fencing. You can get a pin. You can put it inside your house. If you have the room, of course. You could put them in the garage and do the pin in the garage. That's fine. However, get creative with it. Just do it. Just do it. Because if you do, you are going to be so much happier that you don't have to come home and pick up turds off of your carpet after you get off of work. Okay. And that's just the truth. I mean, when I come home after, I haven't worked outside the home in over a year, but when I come home from work, okay, for example, when I came home from picking up the kid, I dropped the kids off in Minnesota, and I came home at 11:30 at night, and the house was destroyed. There was poop everywhere. They had peed everywhere because circumstances I'm not going to go into, but they destroyed the house. There was toilet paper, a whole thing of toilet paper torn up, spread all over the place and stuff like that. And if they had been in a long-term confinement area, even in the garage, they would have had access to the beds, they would have had access to food and water, and they would have had access to a toilet. And my carpet would not have had to be shampooed the next day, because I wasn't going to do it at 11 o'clock at night or 11:30 at night, So when you get home from work, you want to be able to relax and grab your dog and put them on the couch and watch a movie with them or whatever. You want to be able to have fun. So create a successful environment where they're not going to mess up the house, that you have to come home and then you're mad. And then you stick them outside because they're pooping and peeing every day when you're at work and you don't understand why. Well, I'll tell you why. They can't hold their urine. They just can't. Can you hold your urine the entire time, from the time you leave your house in the morning to the time you get back? Don't you go pee? Yeah, we all do. So they have to be able to do that in a way that is going to be successful and not ruin your house, okay? And it's kind of like, to me, I personally would never give up my dog for soiling in the house. Never, no matter what, because I automatically think in my head, if they're soiling in the house, there is something I have failed to do properly. Now, maybe I didn't know what that was 10 years ago, how to do it properly, how to set up a long-term confinement area and a short-term confinement area and all that. I didn't necessarily know all of that information, but I know it now. And so I want to get you guys excited about the same thing, because this is literally going to save dogs' lives, and possibly even your dog's life, Now, short-term confinement area, as far as house training is concerned, the short-term confinement area, you cannot leave them in there. This is the rule. They cannot be in there any longer than they are able to hold their urine or their feces. If they have to go to the bathroom, they have to be able to be let out. We are not trying to train their bladders to hold a gallon of liquid. We are trying to train them to go in certain spots so that it's successful. So while you're home and you're watching TV, this actually works really great for dogs who have separation anxiety issues. Put them in a crate, okay? Put them in a crate in the living room for an hour. Let them out. Take them immediately to the toilet area, whether you want that to be a piddle pad, or I would definitely recommend taking them out straight outside, not using the long-term confinement toilet for the, always going to the bathroom on it. You definitely need to be taking them outside when you're home, for sure. And then play with them for 10 or 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Play tug, do some training, things like that. Put them back in the crate, the short-term confinement area. It could be a little like kids' playpen too. I mean, if they're really little, you could put them in a playpen. Like our dogs would just knock the thing over and eat it. But they would look at me and think this is a joke. Actually, Sissy looks at crates and looks at me like, you've got to be kidding me. I can get her in there. She'll go in there willingly, and she doesn't have a problem with it. She just breaks out. She's a jailbreaker, man. We can't keep her anywhere, but she doesn't soil the house. She doesn't go in the house anymore. And she used to. So we tried crate training her. It didn't work. And some people, I guess, have success with it, but to me, it's absolutely cruel to leave your dog in a crate and them not be able to go to the bathroom anywhere but where they're laying down for hours and hours and hours. I just couldn't do it to my dogs. I just couldn't. If I'm leaving them for an hour, yeah, I have to run to the grocery store to grab, a prescription or whatever. Yeah, put them in the crate. That's fine. You don't have to put them in the long-term confinement area. You're only going to be gone a half an hour. Come back, let them out, play with them, put them back. And you only have to do this for a very short amount of time, a couple weeks for the short-term confinement area, until they understand where they have to go while you're home. They have to go to the back door in order to be able to go pee. Then pretty soon they will, what Sissy and Finn will do anytime they need food, anytime their water bowl is empty, anytime they need to go potty, they come and they put their head in my lap and they look at me. And then if I just ignore them, they start to whine a little bit. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what do you guys want? Show me what you need, and I'll be busy doing something, maybe 5 minutes go by or something. And then I'm like, show me what you need. And so I follow them, and wherever they go, that's what they need. They go to the back door. I let them out. They walk to their food and water area. And I'm like, oh, you guys are out of water. And I grab them water. Or if it's early in the morning and I just dropped off the kids and I came straight down to my office and I didn't feed them, they let me know that. They let me know when I forgot to feed them. And they know when, they let me know when I forgot to add in the wet dog food too, because I mix wet and dry food together. And because I'm trying to get Fennel to gain some weight. He's really, really, really skinny. So I'm trying to get him to bulk up just a little bit. And he doesn't like kibble. I don't know why. So I've empowered the kibble with some wet food. And so if there's no wet food in it, he just looks at his bowl and looks up at me like, you're joking, right, Mom? And then if I walk off, he eats it. He ends up eating it. But, it's just kind of like one of those spoiled kids that you give a peanut butter and jelly to and they're used to steak. So it's hilarious that I've created that. If you only give them kibble, they will eat only kibble. I mean, that's just the way it is. So, the dogs will eat what you give them. Do they have preferences? Of course. They have preferences where they go to the bathroom. They have preferences on toys. They have preference on people. They have preference on food. They have preference on snacks or treats or whatever. So, of course, if you put down two bowls, one with just kibble and one with kibble and wet food, I don't know how many dogs would go for each one, but I know my dogs would go for the one with the wet food in it every time, because it smells. It smells big time, especially there was this one chicken beef blend. And I don't know if you guys have ever tried Vienna sausages. Oh my gosh, it smells just like Vienna sausages. I don't know why, but when I was pregnant with my daughter, I loved hot dogs and Vienna sausages. Now I can't stand them and I can't stand the smell either. So every time I open this can and I'm just like trying to mix it in and stuff. But you can choose what it smells like. You don't have to get the nastiest smelling thing. I got them chicken and gravy this last time, and they actually like that better anyway. And it has a little bit higher calorie content and a little bit lower sugar and salt content. So I was really happy with that. And it actually smells like chicken and gravy. So they like that, and I prefer it too. So long-term, short-term, if you have any questions about that, setting it up, I will try. Like I said, I'm going to be pretty darn busy the rest of the week because today's Wednesday, and by Friday, I've got me and the kids' stuff to be out of here. Just, the next time you see me live, it will be from somewhere else. I don't know where yet, but it will be from somewhere else. So, So I don't know if I can get that up right now, but I'm going to actually do like a PDF of a map of different kind of setups and scenarios that you can do, where the bed can be and what size and what shape different rooms and confinement areas can be. So I'll get that done for you, hopefully by early next week, because I have Sunday, I'm going to start driving for Uber again. I love driving for Uber. I love doing deliveries. My favorite was going to McDonald's and sitting in the line. And then I get up to the window and they're like, what did you have? And I'm like, I'm the Uber driver. And they're like, oh, you don't know a penny. And I'm like, yeah. I don't know why, but it was always so much fun to be able to go to McDonald's and pick up food and not have to pay for it. I mean, of course, I'm not eating it, but you know what I mean. So Okay, so long-term, short-term confinement, this is going to create errorless house training for you. You're going to have, you want to prevent, I mean, my goal is prevention, first of all. Prevent the house soiling issues to begin with, and then we don't have to worry about retraining them in any way, shape, or form. But if you're at the point where they need the retraining, this is a great way to do it. And it may just take an extra week or an extra couple of days, depending on how stubborn they are. But it's a great way to do it. And it's very, very cost effective compared to the cost of cleaning up after them when they soil your house. And the cost to the shelter if you give them to a shelter because of house training. All right, so let's move on to, I'm going to pull up my thing here, destructive chewing. I just want to make sure. Yeah, okay. I just wanted to make sure that I was remembering all of my points. So destructive chewing. How many of you think chewing should be stopped? I already said a little bit ago, don't stop their chewing, because the more they chew, the more they mouth, the safer their jaws are as an adult. That's actually just a fact. Because when they mouth, you have to think about it when they're like suckling and stuff. And okay, so I'll just tell it to you the way I heard it told to me one time, and I was like, this is the best possible way of explaining it on the face of the planet. Like, I could not come up with anything better. So you have these puppies and they're at mom's teats and they're like, pawing at it and trying to get, and man, their milk supply is starting to run low. So they kind of start yanking and doing all of these different things to try and get that milk coming again, right? And the mom doesn't like that. So what does the mom do? Well, she doesn't kill the puppy. Of course, it's a puppy. And moms know that puppies are, they're learning, right? The mom just swats them away or stands up and walks off. So they play with each other. One puppy is maybe a little bit of a bully and the other ones are kind of submissive, and they're playing together, and the bully bites one of his siblings on the ear. The one that got bit is going to be like, ow! They're going to whine and say, no, I don't want to play with you anymore. And they're going to go and play with someone else. And then that puppy that bit is going to be like, come on, please play with me. I promise I won't bite anymore. And then they bite again, but they bite softer. And then they bite again, but they bite softer. And that's how puppies learn. Bite inhibition is by biting. So we don't want to reduce the frequency of biting until we have reduced the severity of biting. So puppies have needle sharp teeth. Have you ever noticed that? Like, getting bit by a puppy can actually hurt really bad. Fennel actually punctured my skin biting my hand one time. And I mean, I really wanted to knock his head off, because I was like, this is not what we do. And he had never done that before. But I'm glad he did it, because it hurt me. And I was able to give him some instant feedback, no. And I pulled my hand away and I stopped playing with him. And then the next time he came up and we were playing tug, he almost bit my hand, but he didn't. And he pulled his muzzle away, and he was like, oh, I'm not going to do that. And he grabbed onto the rope. It was an accident. He didn't mean to bite me, but it taught him mom's hand, no bite. Rope, yes. Mom's hand, no. And he can bite me. He mouths me. I stick my hands in their mouths all the time for this reason. I play tug with a very short rope for this reason. And I wouldn't recommend allowing a child to do this. I don't even let my 15-year-old son do this. I do this myself when I'm training for bite inhibition, however you say it. So when I'm training their bites and stuff, and the severity or the lack of severity, I do it with a very short tug rope. I do it with my hand, and I do it with treats. I'll have treats in my hand, and you can let them, like gnaw on your hand, kind of, just gum or whatever. And as soon as they put any kind of real pressure on your hand, they don't get that treat. Pull it away. Ow, ow. But they need to chew, right? So that's part of how they get their permanent teeth in. I mean, I can't even tell you how many of my kids' teeth came out because of an apple, or, even a sandwich. One of them was one of those caramel apple suckers that has the caramel on the outside and the little green apple sucker on the inside. Emily was sucking on one of those, and she had a loose tooth, and she bit down on it, and her tooth came out. So we need to make sure that they're chewing, but they need to be chewing in a constructive way, not a destructive way. So what is constructive chewing? Constructive chewing is going to exercise their jaws, it's going to exercise their minds, and it's going to allow them to solve a problem in their head, okay? So, for example, the Kong. If you just give them a Kong and it's empty, they will either destroy it or ignore it, okay? So with a Kong, a pit bull can actually successfully have a not black Kong for years and years and years and years, and use the same Kongs forever. Okay, if you do it right. If you just give it to them and there's nothing in it and there's no purpose to chewing on that Kong, they're going to destroy it. So the way we do that is, like I had said earlier, we put a little bit of peanut butter in there with some kibble. You can make it mushy, put it in there and freeze it, especially for like puppies and stuff, because they'll just lick on it all day long. Older dogs will kind of eat it a little bit faster, but their tongues are long enough to get all the way down in there. Every time I give them a Kong with peanut butter in it, all the peanut butter is gone by the time they're done chewing their Kong. And it'll keep them occupied for hours, okay? Before I got Fennel's Kongs, we were on our way to, was it Colorado? I think it was Colorado, when we went on spring break vacation. We had went to Colorado. We drove from Kansas City to the mountains past Denver. So it was a fairly long trip. And Fennel, he was still little too. He was like 6 months old. Actually, probably not even that. He was probably 4 or 5 months old. He chewed up the armrest in my van, and I drive for Uber, and I was super sad because now I have a chewed up armrest as in one of my middle seats in the back. How do we avoid that? Well, get a Kong, stuff it, put it in the car, freeze it, stick it in the car, have their little, you can set up a long-term or short-term confinement area in your car while you're going on long trips and stuff. I mean, it's just that easy. Just start thinking creatively. How can we keep them from chewing on the dresser to getting them to chew on something constructive that's going to help exercise their mind, exercise their mouths, and create bite inhibition? Stuffed Kong. You could even put a rope in there if you'd like, or a squeaky toy or something. Get ones that, can't easily be torn up. Like, I don't recommend getting stuffed animals and letting them just chew on them throughout the day, or putting that in their long-term confinement area, or throwing those outside or anything like that. They need to be supervised when they're playing with those kind of animals. So we actually use them for tug toys. And once they rip it where the stuffing comes out, I empty it completely out. Take off the eyes, take off the nose, the ears, or whatever could possibly cause them to choke or cause an obstruction. So, yeah, I mean, we can prevent house soiling issues and destructive chewing all at the same time. It's so easy. It's so easy. Our Kongs, in my opinion, are they expensive? Yeah. They kind of are, but they're worth it. They're worth every single penny. We've never had, aside from the Nylabones, and I would recommend getting some Nylabones too, but aside from the Nylabones, we've never had a toy last as long as the Kongs do. And actually the Kongs are in better shape than the Nylabones. The Nylabones just still exist. I mean, they're all chewed up, but they're still whole. They're not like, chewed off from broken and, where we have to throw them away, but they're chewed on. And they're pretty chewed up. But the Kongs don't even have bite marks in them because we're using them the right way. And so they will chew on them. And so they're getting that chewing action, but they're doing it with a purpose. And when they're doing it with a purpose, it's not destructive. Or in the alternative, you throw them in your backyard, let them chew on sticks. I will tell you, that's dangerous. It's dangerous for the dog, and it's dangerous for your pocketbook. Okay, I'll tell you why. We had Fennel for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. That was the beginning of this year. We had him for 2 weeks, and this poor dog, chewing on everything. We didn't get him a Kong yet. That was failure on our part. Chewed on a stick. We thought in the moment that it was like a pin cap or something like that. But I noticed he wasn't able to go to the bathroom. He wasn't, pooping. He was trying, but he wasn't able to go. And so I bring him inside, and we noticed his anus was starting to prolapse. So it was starting to turn inside out. I'm like, what in the heck is going on? So, we do a lot of our own dog health care here at home because we're comfortable with that. If you're not comfortable with trying to figure out what's in your dog's anus, take him to the vet immediately, okay, which is what we ended up having to do. We waited about 20 minutes to see if it would come out any further where we could actually get it, but it couldn't, and he was in pain. So took him straight to the emergency vet. It was after hours. Had to pay $200. And guess what it was? It was a stick, a little bitty stick, probably no wider than my nose, that he swallowed, and it was coming out sideways. Okay. So there are real risks to your dog's health, to your financial situation, to putting your dog outside, beyond the emotional things that happen as well. Adult dogs, that kind of stuff doesn't happen as much, but they can destroy a lot more. They can tear down. I mean, Sissy has pulled a branch off of a tree. She just jumped like 4 feet in the air and grabbed the branch and was just, yanked it right off. It wasn't a big branch, but you get my drift. I mean, they will do that if you don't provide some sort of constructive chewing outlet for them. And if you do not provide them some sort of toilet in a confined space, they will mess up your house. They'll mess up your carpet. They'll mess up your tile. They'll mess up your hardwood. They'll chew on your fish tank leg. They will chew up the cushion on your couch. They will rip the back of your couch. These are all things that I've had happen. Okay. I know these two subjects in particular inside and out from experience because I've done it the hardest way possible on every single thing. Okay. And I'm telling you, the easiest way to do it is this way. If you do it this way, you are, I want to say 1,000 times less likely to turn your dog over to a pound or a rescue. I mean, you just are. Me, I could never do that, like I've said. And there are people besides me that are like that too. They don't care. The property doesn't matter as much as their dogs do. And that's the way I feel. Like my dogs are part of my family, period. It's just like my kids. If my kids broke a dish, I'm not going to send them to child services, and put them up for adoption because they broke something in the house. I'm not going to do that to my dog either. But there is a point where it gets to be too much. And everyone has a point at which it would be too much. And if you rent, you're under even more constraints, because if they chew a banister on your stair railing or something, then you are responsible to pay for that, and your landlord may, move to evict you at some point. And so, you if you set it up properly from the beginning, then those things are not going to happen in the future. Okay, you're going to have a very well-trained dog that can have the run of your entire house. So when you have this figured out really well, remove the poop from their toilet area in the long-term confinement space. Remove the poop every time you see it. So as soon as you come home from work, pick up the poop, toss it in the trash bin or in the toilet, whatever, or outside. But remove the poop, leave the urine. They want to pee where there is already pee, and they want to poop where there is no poop. Okay, so their pee, they'll keep peeing in the same spot over and over and over again in their long-term confinement area. But if they poop, and let's say they're by themselves for 5 days, I mean, this would be the most outrageous extreme example, but let's just use it. You don't clean up their feces for 5 days. Every little poop is going to get closer and closer and closer to their bed. They're not going to poop in the exact same spot each time. Okay. And eventually they're going to end up having to poop in their bed. And that to a dog is like one of the worst things in the world. They hate laying in their own waste or in another animal's waste. It makes them cringe. It makes me cringe just thinking about it, to be honest. So when you set up these areas and you work it and you do it right and you do it consistently, you're going to have a dog that house trains himself, that never destructively chews on anything. I mean, we had Fennel chewing on a wall. Okay. So you talk about, and he is not even 2 years old yet. We've had him for a year and 1.5 years, I think. And he has chewed up a wall. He has chewed up a couch. He has chewed up 3 sets of my high heels and all of these things. And, because Sissy was so easy to train all of that stuff out of her. And Fennel, it was just like, oh my gosh, And I knew by the time I got Fennel, I knew everything that we needed to do. But, getting everybody in the house on board is kind of hard sometimes. So you just have to stand up and say, you know what, this is what we have to do. This is what we're going to do. And if we don't, then I can already tell in 6 months this puppy is going to be sent to the pound. And if it's an APBT, it is more likely to be put down. So do I save this dog's life by investing a little bit of money up front and investing a little bit of time to put this together, be consistent every single day, and get this done? I mean, to me, it's no question, guys. And if you need any help with it, if you need any help at all figuring out in your specific house, if you need to send me pictures of your house or a video or whatever, do it. I will look at it for you and I will help you figure out, yeah, this might be actually the best place, but this one would work secondarily. This one would be great for long-term confinement. That one would be great for short-term confinement. I would put the bed here and I would put the potty here, and then I would hang the Kongs from something right here, things like that. I can walk you through it and help you through all of it. Okay. Now, I have some exciting news. Okay. I have had to delay this by 1 week, but I announced it. I don't even remember when I sent the email out. I'll have to, re-look at the email, but I sent an email out to everybody that's on my subscriber list that we have virtual puppy classes coming to the Pampered Pitbull. Virtual puppy class, virtual adult class. Now, if you have an aggressive dog, I would have to meet you in person. I would recommend getting an in-person trainer. Okay. If you have a dog that you absolutely cannot control or is dog reactive, go to somebody in person. If you're here in the Kansas City area, I'd be happy to meet with you. Okay. No issues with that at all whatsoever. I'll drive to Kansas City, Kansas if I have to meet up with you. But these classes, I've got them like halfway set up, and then it just kind of everything hit the fan. So these classes are going to be genius for you. So when you have a puppy that is between 12 and 18 weeks, in the puppy class, puppy 1 class, I am going to walk you through everything you need to do with that puppy day to day, week to week, in order to properly socialize and properly train your dog within 6 weeks. It's a 6-week course for each one. Puppy 1, puppy 2, in order to enroll in puppy 2, you have to graduate from puppy 1 first. Same with adult 2, you have to graduate from adult 1. So if you have a puppy that's between 12 and 18 weeks, you'll automatically go into puppy 1. If you have a dog that's over 18 weeks and non-dog reactive, you'll go straight into adult 1. Okay. And there's reasons for that, I mean, the reasons are numerous. At 18 weeks, a psychological change happens in a puppy. Okay. They kind of like basically get their puppy license canceled, and all adult dogs start treating them differently. So we want to keep puppies with puppy licenses together and puppies and adults without puppy licenses together, if you get what I'm saying, if you understand what I'm saying. So these will not be in person, but what I am offering is, if you have a fellow dog owner who is in the same age category as you and wants to join as well, you will get 25% off of each of your enrollments. Okay. So if you join together, and every week when we go on our Zoom live call, you guys are together in the same space, you will automatically get 25% off for the entire course, the whole 6-week course. Okay. So that's my offer for that. If you have a puppy that's 12 weeks and you have a friend who has a puppy that's 17 weeks, and you two meet once a week on whatever day it is we meet for that particular class that you sign up for, you'll get 25% off, both of you. Okay. If you refer a friend, you will get automatically 10% off. Okay. Now, I'm not going to tell you how much they cost, because I haven't got them 100% set up. And I have a really awesome offer that I'm offering to every single one of my email subscribers. Okay. So if you want in on that special offer, PM me, or let me grab the link, because you can actually go, I have the puppy books that are free. And for some reason, I don't understand what happened, but where did it go? Oh my goodness. For some reason, MailChimp isn't working to get me what I'm needing. To get you guys your books automatically sent. So I don't know why that is. It's automated, but it's not actually doing the automation. So if you click on that link that I just popped up in the comments, right there, click on that link, you'll sign up. It'll give you a little bit more detail about the 2 classes, the puppy and the adult classes. And it will also, hang on one second. I don't think that's the right one. Let me just double check here. Oh my gosh. Okay. That is the link to show you what, is going on with the classes. Here is the link for the puppy books. One second. Copy. Let me see if it actually copies properly. Hang on one second. Let me see if that link works. Right. That was the same link. Okie dokie. Don't understand. Here we go. Here we go. Man, I'm just slightly a mess today, apparently. Okay, I didn't have these. For some reason, I didn't have these in my link document. Okay, so that's the link. Of course, click it from the comments and it'll automatically pull you up to the free puppy book. Okay, and then you just sign up there. I'll send you 2 free puppy books, and it'll put you automatically on my mailing list. And then when you're on the mailing list, I will send you an awesome code for discounts on these 2 classes. To start off with, I'll be sharing details starting on Monday about different little secrets of success that we're going to have and things that specifically I'll be teaching. Okay, so hop on over there, get onto that mailing list, go over to that first link, the Pitbull Mama classes, and that's just a general email, just introducing the programs very vaguely. And I think that's all I had for you guys today. As always, if you have any questions at all, holler at me. PM my page if you need to. Like I said, I'm really, really busy. And if I'm missing your communications, I'm really sorry. My page still says I have 100% response rate. So I don't think I've missed any communications. But if I do, I'm really, really sorry. It's kind of just hectic around here until next week. So send me a reminder if you have to, okay? I'm not going to be upset if you're bugging me because I haven't answered you. So, all right. Well, don't forget, every day's a great day to be a Pitbull Mama, and I will see you guys back here next Wednesday, and we are going to be talking about, one second. Next Wednesday, we're going to be talking about excessive barking. That's another top reason that dogs end up either outside or in the garage or in the, being given up to the pound. Not nearly as often as house training and destructive chewing, but it is another reason. And so it does need to be talked about, and we can fix it. Okay? I'll talk to you guys later. You have a great day, a great rest of your week, and let me know if you need anything. Bye.